In last night's Senate debate, neither candidate endorsed a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, with both calling for the immediate release of hostages being held by Hamas. On Friday, President Biden said he has pushed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for a temporary ceasefire to get the hostages out of Gaza, and that he's urged Israel not to proceed with a ground offensive in Rafah without a clear plan to protect more than 1 million Palestinians who are sheltering there. But today, Israel said it will move ahead with military operations in Rafah if Hamas does not release the remaining hostages by the start of Ramadan early next month. According to the health ministry, the death toll in Gaza has surpassed 29,000. Here in New Jersey, Palestinian residents in Paterson gathered to call on President Biden to support a permanent ceasefire as they mourn the loss of loved ones killed in Israeli airstrikes. Senior correspondent Joanna Gaggis reports.
The death toll is 29,000, 18,000 since November 16th when we called for the ceasefire.
Mayor Andre Saya today renewed Paterson's calls for a ceasefire in Gaza, pointing to the 18,000 men, women, and children who've been killed in the region in just the last 3 months since the city first called on the Biden administration to take action.
And that's why on President's Day, we are speaking directly to the President of the United States. And we're making a universal humanitarian appeal to our President. And we're calling for a permanent ceasefire, for a permanent peace, and a permanent resolution in the region.
Paterson has one of the largest Palestinian American populations in the U.S., according to Saya, and several spoke today about the devastating deaths of their loved ones in Gaza.
It's been 137 days of ongoing genocide against the people of Gaza, funded, paid for, and supported by our government. This is not something far off. 2,000, at least 2,000 members of our families have been killed.
19 members of my family have been killed. I wish we didn't have to get that phone call saying, I'm sorry, Uncle Muhammad is dead. And 4 generations are dead with him. My 1-year-old cousin, who didn't even live to see her first birthday, is dead.
15 members of my cousins and my uncle and his wife and his grandchildren who had been killed in the first week. It is a time of one humanity to come together to stop this war today, not tomorrow. Today, not only ceasefire for 1 month or 2 months. We want permanent ceasefire.
Their message comes as the International Court of Justice began hearing arguments today on the need for a 2-state solution in the region, an argument raised before this war began. Here in Paterson, a diverse group of faith leaders, Muslim, Jewish, and Christian, joined in that call to the president.
We are outraged that President Biden is apparently planning to again veto a UN Security Council resolution for a ceasefire, even as Netanyahu threatens more attacks on Rafah.
This conflict has seen over 29,000 deaths, and about 2/3 of that number are women and children. Reports have stated that up to 80% of Palestinians have been driven out of their homes and have been left to starve. According to Oxfam International, about 250 Palestinians are killed per day.
The Pope has also called multiple times for a ceasefire. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Joe Biden's administration is set to send what is said to be enough munitions to be able to continue the slaughter in Gaza for another 19 weeks.
Mayor Saya is urging New Jersey local and state officials to join in his call, although the number stands at just 4 municipalities that have called for a ceasefire. Newark and Jersey City have not yet added their voices to this movement, despite calls from their community members to do so.
70 cities have called for a ceasefire. 9 of them are in Michigan, but there are 564 municipalities in New Jersey alone. So we want other mayors to call or sign on for this call for a permanent ceasefire.
He says there could be devastating political impacts on those who don't. In Paterson, I'm Joanna Gaggis, NJ Spotlight News.